Twyla.
Hi, Sean. How are you doing?
I'm great. Welcome back.
Thank you very much.
My name is Sean Chase. I'm Director of Education and proud to welcome you to this edition of the Director's Communiqué.
I'm Twyla West. I take care of some communications around here, and I'm very blessed to live, learn, and work on Treaty 4 territory, traditional lands of the Nehiyawak, the Nukaway, the Nakota, and homeland of the Métis, Lakota, and Dakota people. And it was not too far from here, 149 years ago, this week that we're filming, that Treaty 4 was signed.
Yeah, great that so many of our students, thanks to our staff for organizing the opportunity to head out and be part of those recognition celebration events that are taking place this week, the week that we're filming. But also just want to remind everyone, when you look ahead in our calendars, that Regina Catholic Schools is proudly observing National Truth and Reconciliation Day with a day off for our entire division on Monday, October 2nd. So very proud of our work towards supporting our Indigenous education initiatives in Regina Catholic Schools.
It's a good time, and we've just passed our my favorite day
Agreed.
Of the school year. I think it's yours too. Yes, opening mass. Everybody's there. Everybody's excited, and we get to do a lot of cool things there at opening mass.
Yeah, we didn't have anyone at the front doing the ticker as folks come in. I'm going to say almost everybody's there. I know that we had a few staff who were behind at facilities getting some last minute things done, but I'm going to take an estimate in that about 12 to 1,300 person range that we had gathered at Resurrection Parish. Start with a huge thank you to the entire group over there for hosting us. I made a joke at Mass that they've got superhost status on Airbnb. But genuinely, they are always very, very open to Regina Catholic Schools spending time in that wonderful facility. And the only place in town that can house us that large of a gathering to celebrate our faith this year, to unveil our new 3-year theme of All Belong, welcome particularly in year 1, and give the opportunity for our board chair, Swiniger, to speak. Certainly a great homily from His Grace Archbishop Bolin. And I like the opportunity to have a chance to stand up there and speak to all of our staff, but more importantly than to thank and greet some of our folks from there. We had some special guests joining us this year.
How cute were these guys?
The boys from the North Regina Little League team, Team Canada for the 2023 Little League World Series, Wolf Pro, and the great artistic work that he continues to contribute to Regina Catholic Schools. And then the chance to recognize our 10, 15, 20, and 25-year service awards. I thought that was a great chance to bring all those dedicated folks together.
Yeah, I'm counting down the years. I'm getting very close now. You know, I did have somebody ask me what we were going to do for opening mass in the future if we keep growing this much, because we're going to run out of room in Resurrection. But I just pointed out that there are usually still some seats near the front.
Good point, yeah. I had to bring my own family members to sit beside me because no one else will when we're opening mass, so fair enough.
Filled the pew, yes. That was a lot of fun. We also got to hand out some bucket buttons. We were teasing it.
Yeah, right here on my desk. Twyla's had these made as well, and it's kind of nice because a few of us have some extras beyond what we received at opening mass. So as we're wandering around and have a chance to visit our schools and our facilities around the division, we might bring some of these with us to hand out some of the other versions. So it was a great initiative.
Well, it's hopefully filling a few buckets, and there's a lot more to come. So
right on.
That's fun. Okay, I was here most of the summer. You were here on and off throughout the summer. Overall, I think working at least as much as I did. Probably a lot more. And IT was really busy too, of course. Facilities, holy smokes.
Yeah.
HR.
I say it this time each year when you see the spreadsheet that shows the work done by some of those departments in really for them about 40 working days. Summer seems much longer, but when you talk actual working days, it's staggering. It's a staggering accomplishment, and it's easy for us to overlook it because things just magically happen from the end of June to when we arrive in September, when the rest of all the students will welcome back. But facilities, roofing, carpeting, painting, flooring, portables, 5 portables moved over the summer. You name it. Millions of dollars of renovations done to keep the tradition Regina Catholic proudly speaks of as having the finest facilities in the province. And so kudos to all the folks who did that work and to our caretaking staff. It's great walking around the schools at the beginning of the year and just being able to see actual reflection on the floor. The gymnasium floors is tremendous. But our IT group, you know me, I love my tech and everything that goes with it, and pretty demanding, ensuring that it's always working from that perspective. I think in the neighborhood of 2,000 plus machines, new machines that arrived on site. We tease them a little bit about the process that they have to undertake over at Miller, where IT is stationed, of getting all these laptops off of the back end of some semis, invading various spots, including the cafeteria over at Miller, where they go about the incredibly challenging but important work of imaging those machines and getting them ready to hand off to staff, to students, and just be up and running on our network for day one of the school year. So hats off to the great folks over at IT for making sure that we are functioning at the highest of levels. And on that note, they're just wrapping up the Wi-Fi upgrade.
Woo!
I got to.
Everybody's excited about that.
They are. I got to fill in my my online survey about that just this past week. And again, I will say a huge thanks. That's something that we all take for granted, and we only talk about it when it's not necessarily working. But I think in the neighborhood of about $900,000 invested across the division on all sorts of new hotspots and really improve the Wi-Fi reliability, speed, accuracy, and so on of our network. So thanks again to IT.
We're already in the future a little bit. Although it does kind of remind me of math questions, the word questions. Scott goes to buy laptops. He picks up, how many did you say, 2,000?
Yeah, I think 2,000 plus. Yeah.
I'm sure we're a math question.
I would think so. And that's where we like to turn things over to our Chief Financial Officer, Mr. Josh Kramer, who has a bit of a flair for the dramatic, despite being an accountant, and sometimes he speaks to that, in his own self-deprecating manner, but a little bit of that flair for the dramatic. Yeah.
He's fun. He did come by my office during the summer, and he said, "Hey, do you have any confetti cannons?" I said, "Do I have confetti cannons?" "Of course I have confetti cannons." And so he made use of them out at class. Let's celebrate. Of course I have confetti cannons. But there is a lot to celebrate.
There's a lot to celebrate, and good on them for having a little bit of fun with another one of those that we take for granted. That's the transportation scenario. And he, Aaron, the extended group, our partners over at First Student, thanks for the tremendous work that goes on in behind the scenes in the month of August. I'll also throw into that our office managers, who play a huge part in the transportation overall scheme that takes place, and making sure that kids know where they're supposed to be on bus planner and all the fun stuff. So kudos to them for just a great work in the last couple of years of improving our service around student transportation.
Making it a little fun. And maybe I need to head into the office right next to yours here with another confetti cannon, because Jill put a lot of hours into this, and a lot of people did, but our 3-year strategic plan is complete.
Mm-hmm. It felt like it was a long journey as we waited for the Ministry of Education to announce finally the long anticipated, highly anticipated, I should say, provincial education plan. But some of the things that I think are really critical to us from a school division standpoint in that strat plan are the amount of voice that we were able to collect from staff, from students, from stakeholders in the community that helped inform some of the things from mission and vision, our priorities that are outlined and articulated in there, our commitment to truth and reconciliation, to being a diverse organization and recognizing the importance of DEI through Regina Catholic Schools. And then we wrapped it up with something a little bit new to us, and that's the portrait of a graduate. Our ultimate goal of seeing those kids proudly walk across stages at the end of June every year, and just a little bit of an articulation of what we would expect those kids to have from skills as they leave our respective buildings. So it is available on the website if you are so interested in having a read. Please do a flip through. I think you might actually learn a couple things in it.
And I will add, although it doesn't necessarily sound like a really exciting document, it's not a difficult read. It's a lot of great information, but it's very visually appealing.
Yeah.
So it is fun.
One of the big pieces that we heard from stakeholders in that is making sure that we are being very clear with all audiences of exactly where our priorities land. And so you'll have a chance to make sure that you can read that with a little bit of detail, but perhaps not too much to keep our audiences entertained.
Also keeping audiences entertained. I don't know if you know this, but we have a few fine folks who take care of building a podcast on a very regular basis. And so we've got Kyle, we've got Dean Venderman, Megan, and they all get together and do this podcast called, it's very much based on the thinking classroom,
right.
Think, Thank, Thunk.
Here, really excited to have Megan and Dean together with me today because we have a pretty awesome interview lined up for you. We're welcoming Peter onto the podcast, and he needs no introduction because he's the entire reason we're here, why we have this podcast in the first place, and really has transformed a lot of our classrooms here in Regina, in our school division, and obviously across the entire world. So welcome, Peter. We're really happy to have you. What have you been up to lately?
Well, first of all, thank you for having me. It's always great talking to the three of you.
And it went #1 this summer, #1 in Denmark.
Wow.
And in Canada, the US, New Zealand, and Australia, it hit #3 for a podcast. Thank Thunk.
Congratulations, 3 of them. That's tremendous. What a point of pride for those 3 individuals, and I will say by extension from Regina Catholic School Division, and the wonderful work undertaken on that really important initiative of just a significant shift to our pedagogical approach with the thinking classroom. So kudos to those 3. And wow, #3 in Canada, the US, #1 in Denmark. Wow. I don't have the clever part to finish that up and find it wherever you get your podcasts, Spotify,
Yes,
Apple. I'm not entirely
yes.
sure. I have had the pleasure listening to it. But
we can add we'll add a link as we send this out.
Sounds
It'll
great.
be down below. Isn't that what they do on the YouTube videos? Down below.
Mm-hmm.
Subscribe, which I don't know what you're doing, but there is a new colleague of ours who's just joined just down the hall from me upstairs. And I'd love for you to introduce her to everyone.
Sure, yeah. A warm Regina Catholic welcome to Ms. Tara Molson, who is working in the position of an externally contracted facilitator who will lead our organization in terms of our response to diversity, equity, and inclusion. This has been a goal for us for a few years to be able to search out and find someone with that incredibly unique skill set and actual background experience in building diversity, equity, and inclusion frameworks, helping us with things starting mostly at the staffing level, but certainly trickling its way down to our responses with students. And we know as we eclipsed 13,200 kids here this morning that are increasingly diverse student and employee demographic, that we need to be more responsive to that, all under the umbrella of our Catholic faith. So a huge welcome to Tara. You will see her working in a variety of capacities around the school division, but we're thrilled to bring someone with her background and skills to the team.
Well, I'm hoping she'll join us at some point, maybe on a Communiqué. That would be good. I did stop by because you're mentioning welcome, and I took her one of these mugs.
Nice.
Regina Catholic Schools all belong. Welcome, embrace, celebrate. So just kind of a little something to mark our new faith initiative for the next 3 years. And so I did give one to Tara. And I'd like to give a whole bunch more away.
Love
if
it.
that's okay with you. I'm thinking a dozen.
Perfect.
Would that be okay? So if you are interested in one of these lovely mugs, I am going to ask something of you, though.
Sounds good. I love it. Contest.
Get a little input for us. Just send me an email with what the concept of welcome means to you. Bonus points if you'll record that in a video.
Oh, love it.
And I should add, because Gordon's behind the camera, if you could please not do it this way, but do it this way, that would be super awesome. But if you could tell us
Landscape, not portrait. Got it.
Landscape, not portrait.
Got it.
Tell us what welcome means to you, and we're going to choose a dozen comments and give away a dozen mugs.
Sounds good. I might have starting to drink a hot cup of coffee with these lovely mugs.
It's going
Maybe
to
it's
cool
goal
off
for me this year. Yeah.
eventually here,
Okay.
that's for sure. And finally, it's that time. Some kind people who deserve a hello.
Well, this is a fun part for us each time we create one of these, because there are so many people to recognize in this wonderful organization. And so to start off this year, I thought we'd take a bit more of a global approach. I started this week getting out to schools for the annual director's visit, where I invade your respective staff meetings at schools, as well as in our various departments. And one of the pieces that I always love to highlight is the incredible commitment of our staff to volunteer in extracurricular activities. Be it chess club, be it the musicals, which I can't believe are already starting. I've been in a couple schools and they're holding practices at this point. There's sign-up sheets all over the place. We know that we have our fall complement of athletics at the high school and the elementary schools. The band groups are already going. I popped in one day and saw one of our band directors with a couple students who had arrived a day or so later, some grade 6 kids who were already eagerly signing up to be part of that ever-growing program. So just a huge, huge thank you to everyone for creating time in your personal world. We talk lots about mental health and wellness, and that well-being of our staff being one of the priorities for our school division. Creating that well-being time for yourself and for your family while also filling the buckets of kids. I often hear from our staff saying, well, in some days, in fairness, it's that extracurricular activity that is the thing that draws me most to my workday. Fair enough, but as long as we're mindful of the time that it takes away from the other parts of our personal lives. All that being said, we firmly believe, and we have the feedback, I think that kind of distinctly proves it, that our extracurricular opportunities in Regina Catholic are unparalleled in other school division. And that's because of the connection that our staff try to build through relationships and offer those opportunities for kids. So from us to you, thank you to everyone who's out there, whether it's right now or sometime later in the year, for all that you will do to provide those chances for our kids.
We almost have to change it from kind people who deserve a hello to thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you.
Yeah, for sure.
At least this week. Well, thank you for being you and being awesome and being volunteers in our school division. And thanks for hitting play on the Communiqué once again.
And I'm Sean Chase, leaving you with a look at some of those fantastic volunteer coaches, directors, and so on like that, who make those opportunities for our kids real. Have a good one.